Hi, everybody in podcast land and also on YouTube. I'm James.
I'm David.
I'm Riley.
And this is the Carpool Critics Movie Podcast, where today we are discussing Zack Snyder's 2021, no, the other one, movie, Army of the Dead.
That's zombie for spoiler alert.
Very alpha of you. Cool. And if you're in our convoy of listeners who watch movies ahead of time, next week we're doing A Quiet Place 2.
Ooh, with Sarah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Are we doing that this week?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Sweet, but today...
For that movie, it's not this one.
What? Be excited about this movie.
I'm pumped to talk about
I'm
it.
excited.
Me too. David, what are you giving this movie out of 10?
Violently mediocre and remarkably stupid. Army of the Dead falls flatter than a gooey zombie pancake. 4.2 out of 10.
What?
But you still give it 4.2?
I'm excited to see your score.
It falls flatter than that? Okay, yep. Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah?
Get it?
My slogan is simply, I'm sorry, Zach. You're a real nice guy. He is, but I'm never watching one of your movies again. I can't do it. This was the final straw. 2.5 out of 10.
Yep.
What? I'm so surprised. What the frick is going on?
It was horrible. I did not enjoy it in the slightest. I mean, okay, there were like little moments of fun peeking through this like horrible gray, dreary sky that is this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell us your rating,
Am I
James.
dumb?
No.
Army of the Dead offers everything fans of the genre could want. Hyperviolence, check. A slight twist on zombies, check. Humans you hate and can't wait to get mauled by undead show cats, check. The only thing it lacks is a freaking depth of field.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought this movie was freaking awesome.
What?
8 out of 10. 8.
Whoa!
This movie's sick.
James.
I loved it.
James, are you joking right now?
I loved it.
Is this a joke?
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's going to do like 6.5.
I didn't love it.
8?
It's not like Inception, but for an action movie, I thought it was great.
James, 8.
Well, there is good things to talk about.
It's great.
Do a 7 at least.
Right after this message from our sponsor, Private Internet Access VPN. PIA helps you hide your true IP address so that you can bypass geo restrictions and censorship. You can connect up to 10 devices at once, and it includes an internet kill switch.
Zombies.
Your life is sucked out of you if your VPN gets disconnected involuntarily. PIA is available for Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, and even as a hot-dang Chrome extension, so check it out and wear a metal hat to protect your brain at lmg.gg/carpoolcritics.
I'm actually tripping right now.
I'm so excited to...
Do you know that the entire internet seems to be in agreement on this? It's a bad movie.
No, that's not true. There's people that love this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got decent ratings.
Okay, everything that I saw, I mean, I
Filter bubbles, baby.
I just haven't looked into
live
it
in a
that much.
highbrow
I've just seen
bubble.
a couple little references to it and
All right.
to it being bad.
Give us the synopsis then.
All right. 4 days before the U.S. government is set to nuke zombie-infested Las Vegas, rich guy Bly Tanaka recruits former mercenary Scott Ward to recover $200 million from his casino vault, accompanied by Tanaka's associate, Martin. Scott gathers his former teammates and asks his estranged daughter, Kate, who works at a quarantine camp, to help them sneak into the city. When Kate learns her friend Gita may be there, she insists on joining the mission over Scott's objections. The team enters the city and learns there are more intelligent, more dangerous zombies called alphas. At Tanaka's casino, while the rest of the team work on opening the vault, Martin lures the alpha queen into the open where he garrots her head off and takes it. The head alpha, Zeus, discovers her body and, enraged, removes the zombie fetus inside, before directing the alphas to attack the casino. A news report reveals the nuclear strike has been moved up, giving the team about an hour. The team cracks the vault, but Scott discovers Kate has left to look for Gita. Martin traps the team in the casino while he escapes, but just as he discovers his zombie head was stolen, he's mauled to death by Valentine the zombie tiger. Team member Vanderoe? I always forget how to
I
pronounce
just call
it.
him Van.
Van fights Zeus, but ends up locked in the vault. Scott eventually escapes in the helicopter flown by team member Peters and rescues Kate and Gita from the Alpha's hideout. But Zeus jumps on board and bites Scott. Scott is able to kill Zeus just before the nuke hits Vegas, causing the helicopter to crash, killing Peters and Gita. Oh well. Scott and Kate reconcile before he turns into a zombie, and she shoots him as a rescue helicopter arrives.
That was awesome.
Later, Van escapes the vault with a bunch of money and rents a plane to Mexico, discovering mid-flight that he's been bitten. Ooh, can't wait for the sequel.
The whole Snyder zombie-verse.
I hope there's not a sequel.
With the robot zombies that are strewn into this movie.
What was up with that?
That's so weird.
Is there robots?
Okay,
So
so
they're-
Or is there just blue eyes?
Apparently they might be robots for the extended Snyder zombieverse.
Shut up.
Yeah, this apparently is becoming a thing.
So there was one shot where I'm like, is that zombie a robot? Where
they
they got shot
on
in
his
the
head.
face?
His head explodes, and it looks like there's a blue like T-1000 or not T-1000, but like an endoskeleton inside. But then I was like, oh, that's just the blue lights dissipating. But
the blue blood sort of glows, like when they
glows.
Yeah. So I guess that I don't know. It really looked like a robot in that shot, though.
Yeah.
I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Let's start with why I think this movie's great.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. First of all, manage expectations. I'm not walking in here to see some high art. I just want, like you said before, like Zack Snyder, do what you do best. Make a cool, fighty, blow-up movie.
Absolutely.
And I think it totally accomplished that. So there's the beginning. It gets into it pretty good. There's a preamble. It's about 15 minutes long, which includes the setup of the zombies escaping, and then they catch you up to speed with this big opening credits.
I love the opening credits.
It was like a
opening
short
credits
film
is
that
sick,
was amazing.
The opening credits is sick.
Lots of good zombie kills in there.
I just love how it starts too with all like the dancer zombies trying to kill that rich guy.
That was
like,
brilliant.
And then it ends in the bathtub with all the blood splash. I'm like, this is good. This is what I came to see.
I don't know if it was brilliant, but I did enjoy it. I actually I kind of hated it at the beginning because I was like, this is so in your face and over the top. But then by the end of it, it won me over because I was like, okay, I kind of got this like story of these people, surviving, and we have this little mini short film, like you say, of this mom and her daughter. They're separated and then they get reunited, and then they're trying to escape, and they have to kill them to complete the wall that's blocking off Las Vegas. Yeah, there's some exposition there. There's some emotion. Slow motion, typical Zack Snyder.
And there's some great shots too, like that shot of the army dude on top of the tank pulling the smoke grenade, and then it goes to the wide shot, and it's one of the only shots in the entire movie you have a bigger depth of field than like 3 inches.
Yeah,
and you can see the whole of the Las Vegas Strip getting napalmed.
And I like that.
Sick.
I like that because throughout this montage, we're setting up the characters. We don't really get a whole lot of backstory on a lot of them, but it's by the time the montage is over, we're kind of just right into the movie. We don't really need to know where they came from. We see them fighting through here. But when you see that soldier standing on top of the tank falling, it reminds us like, yeah, there was lots of heroes. These are the ones that just happened to survive. They're not superheroes. There was lots of great people who fell.
Right.
Yeah.
I almost wish that the movie was that montage.
Yeah, totally.
Like Las Vegas being overrun instead of like we see it being overrun and then now the movie happens after that. But like, then it wouldn't be so much of a well, you could still do a casino vault thing.
Well, I think the premise of this movie, I think, is the most brilliant thing about it. I think like Vegas heist with zombies, right there. It's like you could make a great movie out of it.
It's great that it's Vegas too.
Yeah, totally.
Like to your point earlier about that, the first shots being the showgirls and that scumbag.
Oh, awesome.
It's awesome because it's like, okay, it's another zombie movie, but at least make them all in cool costumes.
Yeah, totally.
This thing being in Vegas was amazing. It was such a great setting for it.
You're using these words like amazing, and I would just say it was kind of cool.
Dude, you gave this a rating like you gave like Dr. Doolittle. I was like, are you kidding me? It's just not even close.
But
it's pretty close.
I think the problem is
so
I
bad.
felt really underwhelmed with the premise delivery. I feel like 80% of this movie could have been set, 90% of this movie could have been set anywhere.
Yeah.
There's like 1-2 sequences where you see slot machines. They're like, but most of the movie is like on the strip, but like could be just generic anywhere, or in basements and kitchens. Like it could be anywhere, and I think that's a big failing of the movie.
That's kind of a fair point. Like, yeah, they got the tiger, but and they got enough landmarks, which is cool.
Yeah,
there's a vault, but it's not like the Bellagio fountain spraying people in the face.
Like even the stuff like when the alphas bring back the douchebag to their pool, like the shot where it's like the sheer curtains and the alpha, the sigma alpha, Zeus walks out. It could be such an epic shot, and it's kind of cool. You see a silhouette, and he walks in, but because it's just a random pool, it doesn't feel that epic. But if it was like the entrance, like a dilapidated entrance to a huge casino, it would be so much cooler. And I think this movie, because it didn't have like the biggest budget, kind of didn't fulfill that huge Vegas, like bigger than life promise.
They couldn't get that shot because of the lenses being used, but that's for later. That's for later. No, I will say that the Vegas thing is really cool as well. I watched the behind the scenes thing on Netflix. It's like a half-hour little doc, and Zach was like, Dawn of the Dead was kind of this cool playground situation where everyone wants to like play around in an abandoned mall. It's like, okay, all the adults are gone.
Wish fulfillment.
Yeah. So what do? We you have to block the entrances. You like loot for stuff, and So that was an interesting idea, and he's like, okay, what's another like sort of playground for adults that's kind of like a wish fulfillment thing? Okay, Vegas. So it is kind of a cool setup. I'll say that much for sure.
For sure. I think another thing that's really good about this movie is the cast. I think 90% of them are well cast and do their job, and they're fun. Although the writing, I don't think serves to make them fully defined characters, but that's fine for a zombie movie.
As far as acting goes, I thought they were all solid.
Same.
Like it's not
totally
no one's gonna win Best Actor, but
no.
there was no like, you son of a bitch, you're dead to me. Like there was no like brutal deliveries.
The
that were
only
like,
one that
ugh.
I was like questionable is the corporate guy. I was like, it's a little heavy-handed.
Martin?
Yeah.
He looks like such a bad
You're
guy.
just like, obviously he's bad.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And it was also bothering me that people were like, we should be suspicious of him. And like everyone was suspicious of him, and then they did nothing and just let him roam free.
Yeah, a little twist would be nice, maybe. I don't know. He was probably actually my favorite character out of
Really?
Well, he's actually interesting. He's actually kind of funny. Like when he was like, man, I hate that tiger. It's perverse. Like he just like
really?
that's the thing that bothers him, that there's a zombie tiger. None of the rest of it.
Man, your favorite character's got to be Dieter.
Which one's Dieter?
The safe guy.
Dieter was
pretty good.
Dieter was like a 6 or a 7 for me, where I liked him, but there are some times where it was just like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought that comparing the comic relief to say Justice League or other Snyder movies, it was good comic relief. I laughed at Dieter. I didn't think it was like, fuck, shut up, or like, this is not a tone match. It totally worked for me.
I think this is above and beyond what Zack Snyder usually does for characters. Like, I think he actually put in a little bit of work to define them and have them be a little bit different from each other. And like, I felt stuff for certain, like when the one gets tricked by the corporate guy and has to fight her way out. When she smashes through the window, I was like, that's pretty sick.
That was
the best part of the movie, I think.
Yeah, I was
honestly,
like, oh. But then they all stand and watch her get eaten.
That sucked.
I was like, what's going on?
That sucked. Okay, because first of all, he betrays her.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, okay.
What was her name? I think it was like... Chambers, yeah. So she's kind of one of those nothing characters. They assemble the team, and they're like, oh, by the way, the one guy you assembled has his own sub-team, and that's who she is.
Yeah.
She came with that YouTube guy.
Yeah.
But then she ends up getting so much more screen time than a lot of people up to that point, which is a little weird. But she turns out to be such a badass.
Yeah.
It's so awesome because you think he's going to play this trick on her, and she's in the horror movie first one to die, and soon she goes down that path, she's going to get descended upon.
Yeah.
But no, she stabs through so many craniums to get out of there.
That was sick.
But then you think she's dead. She busts through that window. You're like, she's going to survive.
Yeah.
I actually had hope.
Yeah.
And then she does succumb in an infuriating way because she's like 20 feet away, and there's like 6 zombies on her.
Watching her.
Shoot her! That's like 3 double headshots away from her.
Yeah, especially
especially
because in every other shot where they're shooting zombies, everyone's getting headshots, like no issue.
Well, and they showed that these people are very resilient. They all have 3 lives. So like for them to just fucking start shooting, yeah.
And another thing that's annoying about that is she could have been like, he betrayed
yeah,
me,
totally.
but she didn't.
Yeah.
Annoying.
Yeah.
I think that whole subplot of the corporate thing is really... let's say in the good things for now. Let's say in the good things. I think my favorite moment in the entire movie, and it's because I was expecting it and I'm glad they went there, is when the coyote betrays like the rapist from the camp. And because
that was interesting.
She recruits him into the camp, into the group, and I was like, no, this can't be real. And
You kind of know when he gets recruited for like probably to die.
I wrote that. I'm like, I'm hoping she's sacrificing him first. If he sticks around for any amount of time, I'm going to turn off this movie and quit this job.
I gotta say that was a pretty interesting twist.
Yeah.
That okay, this
quit
isn't
this job.
You're gonna what?
He's gonna quit being a podcaster.
There was an interesting twist because we thought they were just regular zombies, and then we learned that's the device through which we learn that there are these alphas, and I didn't put it in the synopsis because it was so long, but
And that's a total hit pick too, because like don't make a character who I hate, and then make me watch the son of a bitch.
Exactly. I just don't want to watch that.
I don't want to be in the room with that guy until near the end when he comes back and they have to square off against him as a sub boss. It's like, oh, that's perfect.
oh,
good.
such
That's good
good
stuff.
emotional fulfillment. Sorry,
Sort of.
no,
And I mean,
that was a joke.
it's hard because like I agree with you. All these moments are good, but it's all surrounded by such dumb reasons why people are doing stuff. Like why did that girl run off to go save those people? There's like 15 minutes before a nuke drops. Like it's just, it was hard to care about that moment, even though it was like such a great payoff to what had happened before, because my brain was like, this is so stupid. This is just so stupid.
I can agree with you. I think she should run off to try to save him.
Yeah.
That should happen in the story, but they should have given them more than like, there's 40 minutes left.
Yeah,
that was just
dumb.
so unrealistic.
And they're so chill about it.
Yeah.
They're like slowly walking. She stops and like, Dave Bautista, I need to tell you how I feel right now.
I know, Cruz, shut up.
Wait. I thought we're still on the good stuff.
We're in the
Yeah,
good stuff.
okay,
One
let's
second.
talk about the other parts of the team. My first thought was, okay, this is a kind of a big team, maybe too big. And eventually I learned to love that aspect because there's so many different dynamics at play, and I think they paired the characters really well.
Yeah.
Like Dieter with Van is awesome.
Yep.
At first, he's totally stonewalling him. He's like, this is an annoying guy. He's like kind of a VIP. I'll just protect him. But then by the end, when he gets that fist bump, I was like, yeah, he's the only one with like a little kind of emotional arc where he goes from being an outsider to having some brotherhood. And then he saves him, puts him in the vault. That was good stuff.
Yeah, they have great chemistry, that pair.
Yeah, it definitely like took me a little bit for them to sell this to me because I was like, this is pretty. Like I see what you're doing. This is the problem with the whole movie where it's like I see what they're doing. You know, I was so ready to sit down and enjoy it, but I will say, okay, that's too negative. I will say Dieter was fun to start with. I laughed out loud in his opening sequence where he's introducing himself, and then after that it's kind of like. It was still funny, and I appreciated those two characters interacting, but it didn't. I didn't love it. But it was okay.
I like how it picked up because you saw in the character introductions during the montage where they're like holding photos of their loved ones and stuff like that.
Hated that.
It showed Van as having a master's in philosophy, which didn't matter at all until they
later.
have that little like discussion about whether they're time traveling or something.
Yeah, so
which we should talk about later. I don't know what the hell was going on with
weird.
that.
Well,
Zack Snyder multiverse.
I think it was. Well, it was either a setup for a Zack Snyder multiverse, but I just viewed it as Van being this sort of like deeply philosophical guy, and he was just like being theatrical with the fact that he was setting the C4 on the gate and stuff, and kind of like holding their attention over here while he's like doing this, and then he goes boom, and like it was a kind of like a magician's act.
It worked on that level, but what I'm saying is it seems like he's just an enforcer brute. But then he's paired with Dieter. But the fact that he's been set up as being cerebral, then later can have this philosophical discussion with Dieter, who obviously is a very intelligent person. It's like they actually are a great pairing. They actually could be besties.
Yeah.
But they just have these different, they're coming from different places at the beginning.
There is a movie that exists where I appreciate and enjoy that relationship.
Great. How about Peters, the pilot? You must like Peters.
Oh, Tig Notaro. Yeah. She was.
Is she a comedian? Who is that?
That's
yeah,
a
yeah,
comedian.
she's a comedian.
I knew she was a comedian.
And she apparently replaced Chris D'Elia in that role.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was originally Chris D'Elia and he got canceled. And so they digitally
removed him
removed him and put her in. So every scene that she's in is green screen.
I think if you
She's
did
green screened into
Wow.
which
Yeah,
was
she
really,
never-
so I'll say that. It looks really good.
her and
I had
Dave
no
Bautista
idea.
never met. She only met one of the cast members that she had a scene with.
Yeah.
Everyone else never met her.
That
And
is-
then they didn't
yeah.
really know until the premiere.
Right.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
I think they did a fantastic job. I knew it going in, so like when it's cut, I think the two shots where it's her and people totally seamless. Didn't bother me at all. It's more the shot reverse shot where I know that they re-edited what Dave Bautista or someone's saying.
Oh, yeah.
To react what she's saying, and sometimes it doesn't quite match. Like when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna give you $2 million," she's like, "I don't care, whatever." $2 million, walks away. Whatever he's saying to her, like totally doesn't fit what she's saying. It's just like
He's like so weird or something.
yeah, it's just weird.
That was I love that scene though.
Yeah, it's a
because
good
I've like
scene.
she's an interesting character. She's funny, and she's also like when they're like, you don't want to know the risk. She's like, why would I want to know the risk?
Yeah.
$2 million. That's good. Like,
She got me in her opening line. I love that character within 3 seconds.
Yeah,
she's
she's
scrolling the news. There's just an A-bomb on her screen. She's like, this is great. They should have bombed Vegas in the 90s. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
I
I
loved
loved-
her immediately.
I
think
also love that line.
that kind of leads me to I think one of the big problems of this movie is that how many Chekhov's guns never go off.
Oh my gosh.
a couple.
There's a couple. I think a big one for me is how he's paying each crew member less and
Yes.
less. And I'm like, oh, that's totally going to come back at some point where they're going to talk and be like,
Yeah.
I'm only getting like 250,000. I'm getting 5 million. I'm getting 15 million. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Never comes back. There's no mention of like inequality. And I think like there must have been a version of the script where there was, because like this movie sets up the zombie as like kind of human as well. Like they have humanity in them. And I thought at one point they were going to come to a head and be like, oh,
Maybe
the
the-
zombies are like kind of like humans.
Zombies want the money.
No, nothing.
Well, they did have a nod that was like, look at how harmonious their society is.
Totally, but I think it just felt really underbaked, and maybe it's one
No,
of those
I'm
things-
saying,
oh,
like,
yeah,
yeah, it's just another sprinkle.
yeah,
It
and
could have come together.
and like the whole zombies being smart, I think is good. I'm glad that it's not just shamblers, but man, like they really don't take it anywhere. They don't take smart zombies anywhere.
This
It's
is-
so
yeah.
uninteresting to me.
I feel like this is really a problem with Zack Snyder when he's allowed to write these things.
Mm-hmm.
He has some cool ideas, but he needs someone else to take those ideas and turn them into something actually interesting.
Like zombies that are dehydrated and die, and then rain will bring them back. Why the fuck isn't there any rain?
Yeah.
Why isn't there rain?
Oh my
We do
God.
need this sequel.
Yeah.
Where it's like it rains in Mexico City for the first time in 2 years, and it's crazy.
That'd be sick.
That's another Chekhov song that doesn't go off. And another more subtle one was the guy who's giving them the mission is like, if you communicate and coordinate, you'll survive. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be their downfall. They're gonna be at each other's throats. No, actually, they did. We're a pretty good team.
Yeah. It's just that one guy.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, let's talk about Cruz because she's the first one recruited, and I couldn't never really figure out why. Like, they never say what her specialty is, or really, did they show her in the montage kicking ass at the beginning?
Yeah, she's in there shooting some zombies and stuff.
She was just kind of there. I like her, but then when she divulged her love to him later on, that was a blind side. I was like, there was no chemistry the whole time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like, is this a bit? Is this is it supposed to be comedic? Because not only does it come out of nowhere and there's no groundwork laid for that at all, like a minute later, she has her neck snapped by a zombie.
And she looks
that
at
was
him.
actually crazy.
And honestly, one of the, like, I laughed out loud because at first I was like, what? And then I started laughing, and I laughed for like 2 minutes because I was like, that was so stupid.
That's a good kill. That's like this would have been a great movie to see at a movie theater.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
the
so.
real.
The way that her head is turned around and
With the
like,
neck sticking out.
And it
of the
happens
bone.
later. Like the head goes all the way around, and then it's like there's a beat, and then
yeah. And then there's a shot of her like
On the ground.
A tear is coming down her face, but she's like,
her head is 180 degrees.
Her head is 180 degrees, but she has this like, okay.
the fact that they cut back to it after, I was like,
dead.
oh man.
She's dead, but she's got this like double chin thing going on because she's like, oh, in a weird situation, and it's comedic. It's a funny shot.
So if she had spoken, it would have been perfect. She's like, live.
Or just,
Scott, I love you, Scott.
or even just a
I
sigh.
still love you.
Just a sigh. Yeah, that was great. I love that part.
It's so fun. I didn't like that at all. I think it totally took me out of it. I think this movie is not gruesome enough. I think that it like needed more continuous crazy violence. Like there's a couple violent shots, but like they're totally unsatisfying. Like when Zeus is shot in the head and his head splits open, I was like, It's like wasn't fun. It wasn't creative. Like having the final encounter be like a wrestle match with a bullet going off is like not cool. Like I want to see like this is Vegas with like booby traps. Like I want to see a fucking booby trap go off, cut him into pieces, like set him on fire.
And this is the thing.
Like a tiger should have eaten him.
Well, the tiger eating was fulfilling to me.
Okay.
The way he ripped his head apart was great.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
There were gruesome moments, but I agree there could have been more.
I think the tiger scene went on too long, but like fair enough. Yeah. Like this is the thing. I came into this movie wanting this kind of stuff. I wanted fun.
Yeah.
I wanted like, okay, we're going to have these gruesome moments. It's a zombie movie. There's all sorts of things you can do with people getting their arms ripped off or intestines spilling out or whatever. And like, you can shock people and have it be shocking in like a fun way or like a comedic way. But like the gore didn't really engage me. No. The combat even was just kind of like lame most of the time. It was like super cookie cutter.
A couple good ones.
Well, Chambers, that's good combat, that part where she was.
Yeah, that stuff was
that
cool,
was cool.
especially how it kind of starts with her like stabbing people in the head and trying to be quiet still, but then she kind of gives up and like is fighting. That was a cool sequence, although there are still things that bother me about that, like the fact they're like, how are we supposed to see if we without flashlights? But it's like the room is bright. Like,
it's not that dark.
And
That's
maybe
movie magic.
No,
It has to be bright enough for
There's
us.
a way to do movie magic, okay, where the audience understands that it's too dark for people to see, but they can still see.
Well, you can do
and
like a light.
This was too bright. Like the
I
way
agree.
Okay.
it was.
Yeah, no, you need to have complete. There was like barely any like 0% black, and you need to have like I think like a strobing light, and you don't really see what's going on, and it strobes, and then all of a sudden you see all the grotesque zombie forms.
Yeah. So one of the ways they do this is outdoors is to shoot in daylight and then just like stop everything down so much and like change the color correction so that it's like very blue and gray and stuff. So to us, it looks like night, and we can understand that the characters probably can't see. But in this scenario, they just like lit the room.
Yeah.
So it
pretty
doesn't
bright.
look like it's night and dark. It looks like the room is lit, but they're just pretending that they can't see.
Well, it's also such an exceptionally stupid execution of a decent idea. Like having zombies hibernate, that's cool. That's happened before. I think that's okay idea. But There is nothing that hibernates standing up. There is nothing that hibernates in grotesque forms, like reaching out,
Oh, when
creating
she
a
had
gauntlet.
to go under his arm, I was like, come on.
And it's like, I think it's totally cool to have a room of zombies like standing there and they have to like kind of squeeze through, but it just was so over the top stupid.
Yeah, I can understand them like hibernating in weird positions because it's like they're dead. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they're
sure.
like they get locked in it's rigor mortis
Maybe,
or whatever.
sure.
But the thing that also bugged me about that is the fact that like the rules about what wakes up the zombies was kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like Dieter screams in the beginning and he does shine and
Yeah, that's right.
what's his name? Scott does shine the flashlight in their face, but they don't wake up then. But then they wake up later when the pans go off.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. But anyways, back to what I was saying, where it's like, other than that sequence, I don't think that there's a lot of like really like action sequences where I was like, oh, cool, that's badass.
I think the final escape from the casino is pretty cool. It's like, that's kind of when I think the premise is most delivered, when they're like running through like the slot floor and they're shooting in slow motion. Bautista, the other
Kicking
person.
over poker tables.
Yeah, and it's like, that's like the full, like, okay, we're fighting for our lives.
Yeah, there's a couple
I
moments.
think that one's pretty cool.
There's a couple moments, but I just feel like that's why I see these movies. You know, that's why I'm excited to see these movies, is to have these like super cool action epic, moments.
Totally.
And there was there was like a few. There was a couple, and it's just not enough to outweigh all of the other shit in the movie.
Well, it's a 2.5 hour
That's
movie.
so long!
It should have been hour 45. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much filler that's not really adding too much to the movie. They could have condensed this. If that's all they did was cut each scene by like 10% and just condense it into 145, this movie would instantly be a million times
Yeah.
better.
I'm usually
100%.
like on team cut, but in this case, I actually only felt when it was done that it was like the first hour for me went by very quickly. The last bit took longer. It
Yeah.
was getting late. But I actually thought 15 minutes off would have been fair.
I think any amount. Yeah. I can
yeah,
agree
any
with that.
amount, sure.
I agree. I think the first hour I was more engaged. Once it got into like the dimly lit basements and shit, I was just like, yeah, okay, I've seen this a million times. Like, this is okay, but
Oh, another thing that never really paid off. Remember when I think it's Kate is closing like a latch?
the skeleton hand?
And there's a skeleton hand
What is
there.
that for?
And then he's like, you closed it, right? And she's like, we're secure. And
Yeah.
then it never comes back. They do
Yeah.
go through that door again, but the skeleton hand's no longer
I know, yeah, I
there.
expected it to be like they were barricading themselves and like, oh, good, we're secure here. And then all of a sudden it's
I
like
think
latch
that
open.
might be a
hell?
plot hole, because I guess the idea is that Kate used that to exit and go find Gita. But then it's also it's reset where that's also how they get out themselves.
Yeah.
So
Are you talking about the time where the jerk guy, he like
Martin.
has a card and it locks the latch and then Lily can't get out? Or is that a different latch?
no. I think the latch auto locks.
Okay.
I think that's why.
Oh, you have
Yes,
to scan
yeah,
it.
he scans it to open it and then closes it behind him so that they can't get out.
Oh, he scans it to open? I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he had a card scanner.
But why? So here's
Ah.
my question. Like, does he have to kill them just because they're so worried about them, people finding out about them stealing a head? Also,
I don't think there's really a reason.
is this really the best way to get a zombie head? To take in multiple teams to plan a fake heist so that one guy can go off separately and get a head? Can't he hire a team of mercenaries to go in, get a zombie head, and come back out? Like,
Yeah.
that seems so much easier than this
mean,
totally ridiculous contrived plan.
Yeah, I wonder did Martin know about the alphas thing before?
Which one's Martin?
Martin's the
yeah,
Yeah, he's been in there multiple times.
Martin has?
I thought so.
I don't
don't
remember if he
know.
was in there multiple times. He was the head of security and he was like kind of a vet, but he knew about the alphas for sure
How do you know that?
because that was his mission.
Yeah, but
Yeah, was to
it
go get a
seems
special
like it's
zombie.
news to him that there's alphas.
Maybe he's pretending.
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. Either way,
so
for them
I
to go
feel
get a
like
zombie head.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't go in. I feel like this was his first time, and maybe that's
But Tanaka has sent multiple teams before.
Yeah. But I think that this time he was like, all right, the other team's failed. Now I got to send in my own guy or something. I don't know.
But why would they? Why ever would he have a fake heist? That seems like such a weird
Well, maybe
way to have.
it's both.
That's
Like,
how you
I
get
can-
people to sign up.
Well, number one, yeah.
No,
And-
but he has millions, probably billions of dollars. He can literally just pay $50 million to the top mercenaries in the world to be like, okay, we're going in, scouting mission. We found like a little like solo zombie. Floop, done, out.
I'm so
True.
confused.
Totally
Like
true.
he doesn't want the
money. He doesn't care
money?
about the money.
But he could want both.
No, they said like that matters nothing to him.
That's true. They did say that.
It doesn't matter. I'm
Because
going
it's a
little bit too
heist
into it.
movie.
Yeah, exactly.
The real question is, why the hell did Kate look at those kids who didn't have a mother and go, you know what I need to do to these kids? Abandon them.
Yeah.
Yes. worse.
What?
That was so bad.
You don't go looking for their mom.
Yeah,
you
the
say,
best-
"Hey, Dad, when you're in there, try to find their mom. I'm gonna take care of these kids."
That was
Exactly.
That was so. I was
The
like,
best thing I
I
could
was
do for
laughing
these
at that
kids is
part,
abandon
especially because, man, she's so annoying. She's
Yeah.
like, "I'm going with you, Dad, or I'm
worst.
gonna kill myself."
Yeah, that was, I think, the worst.
If you don't take me with you, I'm gonna go in by myself, and I'll probably die. So,
Yeah,
it's so
and then he's like, "Okay, you have to stick with me." And then she gets in, and she's like, "It's one of those power dynamics where you find out that one person just actually has all the power." Because as soon as they get in, she's like, "Well, I'm just gonna walk this way now."
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, God damn it!
she's using the fact that he cares about her just to like walk all over.
I think
him.
it's such a clumsy way to have Dave Bautista have like an arc or like have characterization, because it's like he would never let his daughter come into the quarantine zone with him. Like, there's no way. Like, it just seems like such a stupid plan to be like, "Oh yeah, you can come with us," and she agrees to be like, "Yeah, I'll stay with you." I don't know. It just seems so
And honestly,
fake and
No,
contrived.
the
and
logic
stupid.
works though. Like, she's going to go anyway. If she's gonna go in, I'd rather she was with me.
I think I would. Why didn't Dave Bautista be like, "Hey, there's kids over there. You could probably take care of them. That's
Yeah.
more important."
The thing-
Someone should have said that
Yeah.
out loud. That
The
pissed
thing
me
that's
off.
frustrating isn't the fact that he wouldn't do what he did. The thing that's frustrating is that if she has any brains at
Yeah.
all, would not do what she did.
It's so
That's
stupid.
right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Were you guys confused at all about whether she was his like biological daughter or not, or whether like because so this is kind of confusing. At one point, she says it wasn't that you killed my mother.
That's true. She says that, and she also
says-
just calls him Scott at one point.
He calls him Scott, and then she's also like, it wasn't that you killed my mother, it was that you weren't around after. And I was like, okay, this seems kind of consistent with like he remarried or she remarried and she's not his actual biological daughter, but then later they're kind of acting as if she is his actual daughter. And so I don't know. Were you guys confused about that?
No,
at all?
I
Not
interpreted
really.
it as
No?
like
Okay.
her making herself estranged to him.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that if she was not really his biological daughter, they would have stated as
Right.
much.
Yeah.
Because
Like Cruz would have said it or something. But I think we're meant to believe it's just her. It's his daughter.
Yeah, okay. So I was just confused. There's a couple of moments like that where the script writing seems clumsy so that it leads to this confusion. There's that line about like my mother, and I'm like, why is she calling her like instead of just mom or something?
Yeah, yeah.
But then, and I guess this is a result of the reshoots. Tig Notaro, he was like, the nuke's coming in an hour, and she's like, thanks for giving me that update on the nuclear bomb coming in an hour. Yeah, it's going good up here. It's like,
That why
What
the
was that
fuck
line?
would she lie about it?
That
Why-
pissed me off too.
I was like, you tell them we might not have a helicopter. You just tell them. There's no reason to be like, I'll get it. I'll get it.
I
And
guess
like,
they-
no one
Being
be
right
all
up
hope.
here. Like,
yeah.
Because they didn't even have a conflict when they finally show up. They weren't like, "What the fuck,
Fuck, yeah.
Peters? Like you lied to us."
Yeah. You're like,
He
one
did.
second.
he said that.
Yeah, but then she gets it turned on in a second.
But
It just seems like
not like a real big fight.
it's another little Chekhov's
Like,
gun.
you know, in Inception, when they find out that limbo exists and they're like yelling at each other, and like they're all super stressed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
No, yeah, it is a sort of a Chekhov's gun where she struggles with the helicopter for no real reason because in the end, it's totally fine
They
and
just need her.
nothing comes of it. It would be kind of interesting if she was still struggling with it when they got up there, and then that led to conflict. But I don't know. I could understand her wanting to lie to them if she believes that there is absolutely no other way out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I'm not going to tell them that they don't have a route out when they need to complete their
But
mission.
the
I'm just
opposite
gonna
is
try and-
true, especially when it's like, now we have an hour. Like,
Yeah, but
you really needed
there's
that
no
hour.
other way out.
I guess they did say that they couldn't get out of time
Yeah,
on foot.
If it's a certainty that there's no other way out, you might as well lie just to have them think about one less thing.
Well,
you know?
or just stay in the vault. Like, we found out that vault was nuke
yeah, it
proof.
turns out
Yeah.
they all should have just hung out in the vault.
How did he get out of the vault? Is there like a button on the inside?
That kind of made sense to me because even like freezers at,
Yeah, that's fair.
at restaurants have that, so
Yeah.
you can't get trapped in them.
That's fair.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe there was.
I thought that was that was awesome actually when he popped out of there. I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah,
you thought that was awesome.
but then
When he
they spent-
wait, when he survived in the vault, I was like, oh, that's great.
I'm
No,
cool with
it's
that.
fine.
If he came out with the money, there was like maybe 1-2 other shots, but they spend like so much time just for him
it's
to be like,
such a long epilogue.
"Oh, I got bit. Oh no,
Yeah.
go to Mexico."
That should have been. I think they should have showed him surviving, and then during the credits showed him getting like
Yeah, on a
there are-
plane.
sometimes movies can do this sort of like half tease thing where it sort of works as a part of the movie and manages to tease a sequel. But this one was like so blatant as just like, we're literally only adding this in because maybe there's a sequel.
And like, why didn't they do that all in one efficient shot? Like, he comes out, he's got the money, he walks in the sunset. We're like, sick, this guy survived. I love this guy. And then it just like shows his shoulder bit, and you're like, oh no.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Like just show him walking towards civilization with the bite on him.
But I mean, that's the Zack Snyder way. Like the intro is
Snyder
15
way.
minutes and it could have been 6 shots. Like it's such tropish zombie stuff. We don't need this whole setup. It's like,
you mean with the cargo container? And all
yeah,
that?
exactly. It's like,
I wasn't 15. I think I was like 5 because it's 15 to get to the end of the montage.
okay. But still, like we've seen super zombies. We know government enhanced zombies. Like we can get it. There was an accident. They got out. And are they setting up the main soldier in that sequence to be like Zeus?
I believe that was.
But then what's the first one? I thought the whole
what do you
point.
mean? What soldier?
The one that breaks out of the container is the leader of all the zombies.
That's Zeus,
right?
yeah.
Oh, that's Zeus. Oh, I thought it was the one that got bit first.
No.
Oh, okay. But it looks like the same actor. He looks like the same guy that got bit.
Well, maybe, but I think the implication is that Zeus is.
The thing is, though, with that little preamble is like, don't piss me off 3 times in that one preamble in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like, when you have a character who's just like, they tell us not to go near it, but who cares?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. Like even she's like, listen for a fucking second. This is insane.
Yeah, get out of there.
Get out of there now. And then he's
So
like,
frustrating.
they want us to get farther away.
Yeah.
It's like such a tonal mismatch between what she's saying and how he's like playing it. Get out of there now. He's like, oh yeah, I copy that or whatever. Guys, get out of there.
And you know what? It would have praised the villain even more if he had listened. If he had taken her advice and heeded it and tried his best, and they still got murked.
Yeah.
That would have made the zombies even scarier.
Man, when the Zeus gets out of the box and then they go over the ridge or whatever and they hear him and he's like, he's hunting us. And I'm like, in these flat grasslands where you can see everything for miles. Where is he?
There's no,
The only reason we can't see him is because Zack Snyder's shooting with these fucking shallow depth of field lenses.
Give us a wide shot, we'll see him for sure.
Well, you know that was the hardest sequence in the whole movie to shoot. They shot it. Zack Snyder's like, we need to shoot it with natural light, and so it took 5 weeks to shoot that sequence because he would only shoot at dusk. And I'm like, that was not worth it. 0%
Not
worth it.
Another thing is that same character who's like, lackadaisical about it. He then flips to being like, oh, this is the most dangerous thing ever. And I just thought it was just so inconsistent and lame.
Yeah. So what I will say for Zack Snyder, because look, I've seen interviews with the guy. We talked about this a bit when we did the Justice League redo or whatever. He seems like a really nice guy. He seems like a kid who gets to finally play with all these fancy toys. And when he's like on set, he's like so excited and his energy is infectious. Everyone loves him apparently. He just So like to that point, on this behind the scenes thing I watched, he was talking about the lenses that he got, and like they are
the Canon Dream lenses.
Yeah, they're like these 1960s Japanese lenses apparently that he got rehoused to work with the red. He used a red 8K Monstro for this movie, and he's talking about the lenses in this behind the scenes thing, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. He's passionate about it. You know, he thinks he's like, the thing that's cool about these lenses is all their flaws, and like they have this super super shallow depth of field and blah blah blah. And another producer was talking about how that kind of gives a claustrophobic feeling to some of the scenes where like a very narrow set of things is in focus and everything else is out of focus.
This looks cheap though.
It does look
like
cheap.
A student film.
It does look cheap, but I could understand them saying like, oh, it's going to make the movie kind of more tense and suspenseful. So
no, it just looked like it was covered in grease.
Yeah. So I didn't like it, but what I will say is that it's nice to see Zack Snyder be able to do these things that he loves. I just wish that they didn't suck.
Well, and I think it's such an ego thing where it's like he's not concerned about the story he's telling and using the camera as a tool to tell the story.
Well, it sounded like he tried that. If you're coming from the perspective of this will give it a claustrophobic feeling, then that's sweet when the technology has harmony with the media or whatever. But I didn't get that from it.
No, not at all. And I think it's what he should have done, in my opinion, is use it for select moments. I think it's a really cool idea to have this really shallow depth of field, but it should be for the moments when you're feeling claustrophobic, not the like emotional, nice moments, not the open shots, not the like, this isn't like a scary moment. And it totally loses its effect. It's like if your music had no rhythm, like that's like what you're using with to have a fixed aperture at this crazy openness.
Yeah. And also it just looked so bad. It was like as egregious and frustrating for me as the audio in Tenet. I was like, that's how much it pissed me off. How like every 5 minutes you're just like, oh, this would be so much better if they just did
Well,
it.
and it makes the movie look cheap because like it looks like they're hiding the backgrounds, and it's like no, they spent $90 million on this movie. Like they built these backgrounds, they built a lot of these sets, and if not, they have the VFX to cover it.
And it's so goddamn shallow that's like your nose is in focus, but your ears aren't.
It's the single eye focus. It's
know,
like if they're at all not straight on, only one eye can be in focus.
Right,
it's
right.
so
It's brutal, and it makes it have like this hazy, dreamlike quality on the edges that made me look like, or made me think I was watching a deep fake.
How much cooler
like-
would it be every time someone's about to die, they get a shot like that, and then it's all of a sudden it's like this visual
Sure.
foreshadowing
Sure.
to like death coming upon them. Like
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
But not 3 hours of it. Damn.
No.
Such a weird rule to say I'm going to shoot the entire movie with these very specific lenses. And the other reason, I think the other thing that kind of contributes to it feeling cheap is the fact that Zack Snyder himself was the DP.
Yeah,
I know. I
But he
saw
does,
that in
he
the.
does that a lot.
I was like, no.
He's like personally holding the camera himself for a lot of these shots. And I mean, hey, I don't know.
He's not that great. There's a lot of shakiness that bothered me
So,
in this movie. I was
apparently-
like,
yeah, actually, myself as well.
didn't do a good job.
Man.
I don't think it looks good. The only shots to me that look really good are the VFX shots.
See-
and I think like it just looks totally out of place in this movie.
My
but-
favorite shot was before the huge epilogue thing. It's the final image where you've got the A-bomb mushroom cloud
Oh,
smoke
yeah,
in the
that was pretty
background.
cool.
You've got a helicopter coming in, and then you've got Kate kneeling in shambles.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful
I wonder if
shot.
on the green screen, he's like, I want to shoot on this dream lens, and the VFX people are like, no, we can't comp a VFX like that lens. Please just let us have a little bit more depth of field.
Yeah. So one interesting thing about the VFX in this movie is that they literally went around in person throughout the entire Las Vegas Strip with LiDAR cameras on trucks and on drones
And scissor
a
lifts and
helicopter.
stuff, yeah.
And they literally scanned the entire Las Vegas Strip into the computer as a 3D point cloud, and they used that to construct the wide shots of the entire strip that we see. So it's like
So unnecessary.
it's perfectly accurate. And that's what I was thinking.
unnecessary.
I'm like, okay, this gets back to the whole Netflix question and whether they should give directors, mediocre directors, ridiculous amounts of resources to do this kind of thing. Like we didn't need a fully accurate 3D scan of Las Vegas.
To be fair,
for a zombie movie.
my guess is that it's not a Zack Snyder thing. That's like the VFX house that wants that. That they're like, hey, we need an accurate scan, and then now they have a really accurate scan of the Las Vegas Strip for anything they want to do.
Man, they should
guess
sell
so.
that data set to like Google or something.
Exactly.
That's fair. Maybe it was part of
But
something
maybe not.
else.
Maybe it is a Snyder thing. He's like, I need it perfectly accurate for the one shot you see a block of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because like none of the movie you're seeing the
no
entire
one's gonna
strip.
know.
Yeah.
No one's gonna know if you just kind of like do your
just
best to make it look
dilapidated.
like the strip. I don't know.
Some people might. There's lots of people have been to
That's
Vegas
fair.
many,
If
many
there's
times.
someone who
fair.
knows Vegas that well, then
That doesn't live in
I don't
Vegas.
care whether they really love the movie.
You don't have to be like a Vegas expert to be like, oh, the flamingo is not beside the Luxor. Like you could go to Vegas like 4
Yeah, but
times.
you don't
I'm
need
taken
that.
out of this movie.
That-
No, the
you
whole
can go
movie's
to
ruined.
You can go to Google Maps and find that out.
I'm sure.
I am okay, Riley. I'm pulling a Riley, and I am officially downgrading my rating from an 8 to a 7.
Yay!
Because I still think this is a very fun movie that people should see if they're interested in the genre. But I'm noticing that basically all my notes are almost all of them are nitpicks.
I have a lot of nitpicks.
And that's the thing. I just want more fun moments.
Yeah.
I just
I didn't think-
expected it.
I didn't have enough fun.
Yeah.
And like, this movie, Act 2 starts 50 minutes in. Like that's like the like we're stepping into the zone. Not into it.
Yeah.
The things I like about this movie are all around the heist. Like I like the like you son of a bitch montage. Like
That's
I like
fast. They get that done
I'm
fast.
into that. I
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
that. I like the walking into the vault. Like I like the music, them actually opening it. Although the movie would be so much better if what they thought they were going in for was money, but it was actually the zombie head, like the original zombie head. That'd be a
that
way
would be
better
great.
movie.
'Cause
Also-
they don't end up with the money anyways.
No.
That would have been such a good twist.
Yeah, that would
I
Oh
really
my
thought
God.
when they were opening up that vault, I was like looking at the reactions, what's going to be in the
Yeah.
vault. No, it was just money. Oh, and by the way, no one can carry $200 million.
No.
Yeah. They're looking
Like a
at
few
the
hundred
stuff and
thousand each.
they're like, "Come on, okay, guys, let's go." And I'm like,
Especially by that point, they already only have
they
an
have
hour.
like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
or
they-
less. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
not much time. I'm like, it would take you all the remaining time just to pack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sense of time is fucked up in this movie.
Also, why move up? This is so frustrating
Yeah,
to me.
that was dumb.
Because it's like it's such a dumb little twist. It's like, okay, we have it's already there's already stakes because they're gonna get nuked, but then it's like, duh, just kidding. Now with the nukes in an hour. Oh God, okay.
Well, it's like that makes no sense because like there's so many preparations you would need to do. You'd have to ensure there was an evacuation, not just of the immediate Las Vegas Strip, but of everything around it.
Yeah.
And to be like, yeah, everyone preparing, fuck you.
Yeah,
We're
and
bombing it today.
Yeah.
I thought a plot point or a point of interest was the fact that like there was this quarantine camp close to the city and they were trying to evacuate it, and it was like, oh, are we going to evacuate everybody?
They never go back to that.
Here's how
really
you make
either.
the third act of this movie so much better. They go up, they have 24 hours, they go up to the roof, they think it's all good. The helicopter doesn't start. They have to get out, it starts raining. Now they have to get out, it's raining, and they have to escape a nuke and get really far,
Right.
but then they break home the quarantine, the zombies follow them out. Oh, it'd be so much better.
Oh, you're right. That would be better.
Yep.
I should be the writer of this movie.
Also, I was set up. This is not quite a Chekhov's gun, but it's like my expectations being subverted. When they say on the news, like, in 4 days, there's going to be a nuke on 4th of July. I was like, boom, that's going to happen. There's a ticking clock in 10 minutes into the movie, and that's going to be a cinematic moment where there's a nuke dropping and fireworks going, and that is going to be Zack Snyder's fuck. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then it was like some executive or something was like, we need more intensity here. We need to raise the stakes and make it like they have 10 seconds to get out, and they do it somehow.
But it must have been it must have been in some editing round, because I don't think they're pacing, like the way they're not worried at all about time makes any sense if like they only have 20 minutes. Like that must have been, they had the full 24 hours, and at editing at some point they added that stake.
Well, it could be
something.
because Bautista's character says it like to Peter's like we only have 10 minutes.
But why are they so chill? It makes no sense.
Man,
Especially Cruz. Get out of here.
one thing that's so confusing to me about Zack Snyder is that he wants to do these fun, crazy, action movies, but it seems like it's so cheesy to the point of cringe, but at the same time, I think the thing that would make them better is to be more cheesy.
Yeah, 100%.
Where it's like something like this with the 4th of July thing.
Awesome.
Like if there was a member on the team who was like super American and patriotic, and he's like, this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be 4th of July, blah blah, and he like maybe grabs a bunch of fireworks, and then they're on the helicopter going out, and as the nuke hits, he's like setting fireworks off, and we get like patriotic American music and this like crazy visual that you were describing. Like that would be cool. It would be cheesy as hell, and I'd be like, all right, but it would be fun.
Awesome.
It would be fun.
No, you need to have someone, like a big thing is that they have to hold the entrance of the Bellagio, and so they drain the fountain, fill it with gasoline, and then do like a Bellagio fight with like fire gasoline like fountain,
or something
to music. You can do so many. Vegas is crazy.
Go there.
There's so many crazy things they could have done that are just like,
It's almost like Zack Snyder, like. And this is what really bothers me about him. I think he thinks that he's some sort of artiste. Like I know that he probably knows that he's making dumb action movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think he's like, he's got this thing with his lenses for some reason. I think that he needs to talk to Michael Bay and just understand that what would make his movies much better is if he just
Stay in your lane.
to like make the McDonald's of movies.
I think he just needs a partner, because I think he has really good creative energy, and I think he does have good ideas. And I think if this movie was shaped into something better, I think like a lot of people, it would be a good movie. Like there's good pieces, but he just doesn't know how to bring it together. He needs like an editor or another writing partner or something just to laser focus these really good ideas.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this guy uses the jaws of life as a saw, and that's cool in the montage.
Chekhov,
but then he doesn't even get to use
and
it.
like it's so stupid too, because like they cut through a wall instead of cutting through the grate that is way easier to cut through. What the fuck happened?
Yeah,
I don't understand at all.
I was like, oh, he's got the saw. They're gonna cut through this ladder. Like, no, it's going right through the wall.
Yeah,
okay.
what?
But am I wrong? He didn't really use that once they got into the compound.
Totally,
No,
I was
no,
so shocked. I thought
barely.
like that was gonna be his final stand.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So confused.
He should have taken that against the guy's helmet, Zeus's helmet.
Yeah.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about, the flashback of, because Scott has some characterization in this movie.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the flashback of him like having to kill his wife and
Why
stuff?
didn't you
Did
use
that-
your gun, man?
Yeah, I
And
would have shot my wife instead of stabbed her in the head, probably.
Yeah, that'd be so much worse to like stare at them as you like slowly drive a knife into their skull.
Although that does make
way
it more
worse.
hardcore to watch. So
Well, for
whatever.
sure.
Well, I think on some level, I feel like he doesn't want to like blow her head off. Like he doesn't want to blow her face away. I feel like it maybe seemed more like he didn't want to see her
She could fit
destroyed.
she could be in
that
a
way.
casket if he stabbed her.
Yeah.
That's true. I thought that
Are
was
you
a pretty.
thinking about that though when you're fighting for your life?
Well, I don't know. I feel like
I
if
don't
my
know.
wife was turned into a zombie, I wouldn't want to just like obliterate her body. I don't know. I would want to kill her.
You have like 5
but
seconds.
he's like huge, right? Like she attacks
Yeah,
him
that's
full
fair.
on
And
in
he
a
just
zombie
grabs
rage, and
her.
he's just
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah, that's
little
fair.
girl zombie.
I'm
That's
Dave
fair.
Bautista.
I'm
I really
fucking
like Dave Bautista. in
roided
this
out.
movie. He was a great cast. I think he brings enough to this character. I think he is the centerpiece of this movie in a good way.
He hits the sweet spot of being like jacked like Stallone, but a better actor.
Yeah.
It's like,
Stallone's a good actor.
Okay, so I'm not going to hate on
Stallone
Stallone.
is a good actor.
I'm not going to hate on Stallone,
Yeah.
but I just mean like you get someone who's just like, I'm an action guy, and versus someone who can be a sensitive actor.
I thought Dave Bautista was adequate in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think I was a bit disappointed because he's so good as Drax. And the other like really good example in my mind of him acting is in Blade Runner 2049 when he's this like really stoic, mysterious guy in the beginning of the movie. And I just did not like him here. I just like, who are you? I don't know who you are. You're completely uncompelling. Like he does serve this role of just being this like, I'm sort of a tortured, big, muscly guy, and I have daughter problems, which is like the same thing we've seen a million times before. And I think he was adequate. I don't want to bash him too much, but I don't necessarily think that he was like the perfect.
I think that he
cast or
didn't have
anything.
great writing or great directing to work with because like you compare to Blade Runner 2049 and he doesn't have much to say, but each line is so impactful.
Yes.
The directing is unquestionably genius.
Right.
And so like when you put him in this movie, he just doesn't have the person pushing him harder.
Yeah. For his career, it's kind of like, well, it's not the greatest role, but I'm leading man.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in the new Suicide Squad movie, but he refused that to be in this. He was going to be a small character in that. So
yeah, you want to be leading man, right?
I feel like there are, when you were talking about like the crew and how you like the different characterizations of the different members and stuff. I mean, I found all of them completely uncompelling, except for like there are certain moments where I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get what this character is. But the vast majority of them, I'm like, this is so lame and cheesy and weird. And I'm not compelled, but I'm going to blame that on the script instead and the direction because, as I said, Dieter was a cool character. I thought he was funny. I liked this characterization of Vandero as being this like, you know, he's a meaty soldier guy,
but he's intellectual.
But he's also intellectual
and so caring, right? Like he's in the pool. With
and that was kind of a funny like a cool moment. And so I appreciate that, but on the whole, it just does not work, and I think it's definitely because the script and the writing is just so clumsy.
Yeah,
like the script thinks it's clever, and that's the thing that bothers me. It's like you're not.
Well, it's the Zack Snyder special where there is clever things, but most of it is just kind of whatever he feels like writing. He's at the George, and it's crazy to me that he's reached George Lucas level of no one questioning what he says, even though he's never produced like a great movie.
You know what? I bet he doesn't outline. I bet he's not an outliner. I bet he's a discovery writer.
Yeah.
And that would explain all the loose ends.
Yeah,
We're like, what happened to that? Because that was a great idea on Tuesday, but I forgot about it on Thursday.
But man, Netflix should have brought in like scriptwriters to like just revise and be like make third and fourth drafts with his help.
He needs the Pixar brain trust.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the refugee camp guard, the Cummings, I guess, the guy that gets sacrificed, when we have his intro scene where he's like intimidating the girls or whatever, he's just like, he just goes from 0 to 100 right away. And he's like, what's going on over here? It's like, just mind your own business. He's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. I was like, whoa. Like, what the hell, man? He's like, you got anger problems?
Well, I don't think he started at 0, though. Even on approach, he's a dick.
He approached, but he's like, what's going on, ladies? Yeah. And then like 2 seconds later, he's screaming his face off.
I'm not going to complain about them doing it fast because they could have had him built out longer, but I'm glad that we got through that character fast. What I will complain about is when Coyote kills him. She's like, this is for all the women being raped in every concentration camp ever.
She doesn't
she
say
says
that.
something along those lines.
That didn't stand out to me.
She says, I saw what you did to those women.
No, she says, this is for women in camps being raped by men like you.
Wow, very general.
And I was just like, what? And I was like, totally. But I think the action, in that case, action would speak way louder than her words. And like, you just don't need to say it. You just have her kill him and enjoy it.
She was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I agree.
She was super cool. It was a nitpick for me when they wake her up. Like, oh, look at her. She sleeps in the fetal position with an assault rifle. Let's just go and touch her.
Yeah.
How about you're like 15 feet away and you're like, excuse me? Just something where you're not going to get shot in the head?
Yeah. Man, with what's his face? The camp douchebag. The scene when he pulls out the thermometer and points it at their head, I thought was so stupid because I'm like, we know you can use the wrist, but also like, okay, they obviously want to create tension of like, oh, he's pointing a gun at them, but it just felt so contrived.
No, for me,
stupid.
I thought it was fine. It was him power tripping, you know? It's just like, oh, I've got this big, like, I'm going to put it at you like a gun, and it's also kind of a phallus. I'm just fucking standing there, putting it in your face.
I was okay with that, I guess.
For me, it demonized the character more.
For me, I was like, oh, you got to brush the hair away, man. You can't
Yeah,
just...
apparently not.
Oh, really?
I saw that as well.
Yeah?
No,
you don't have to do that?
No, you might have to do that. But
Yeah,
I just remember looking at that like you were and just being like, is he going to move the hair?
Yeah, the hair's in the way.
Does that work?
You need to get right on the skin. To talk about, like, there are various moments where the script just bugs me, and one of these moments is like the chainsaw. When that we're still talking about the douchebag. He takes the guy's chainsaw and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use this. If you need somebody to protect you, I got you, or whatever. And then Vandero takes it back and he's like, never talk to her again. And the guard just immediately backs down. He's just like, oh, okay. I'm like, this is cartoony. It's like a high school student was given a studio budget.
That would totally happen.
Sure, it might happen, but you can film that with subtlety. It's the way that it's executed, particularly. It's just
yeah, but this is a zombie movie. I'm gonna pull a Linus here and be like, turn your brain off, manage expectations. This is supposed to be fun. So like when something like that happens, I don't care that much.
It's less that this is like a specific moment that I found particularly bad, and more that it's an example of like everything in the script just being that bad. I feel like I'm watching a high school movie.
I agree. I think it just feels very student filmy.
Yeah.
And it's just Zack Snyder has his priorities in his movies, and it's not script writing. He's like, the script serves to bring me to my moments. My moments matter.
Let's talk about some moments. There was a moment where I almost actually cried.
Really? Which one?
And this is just a particular thing to me, probably. It was when Bautista, Scott, what's his name?
Scott.
It's Scott. He was dying, and his last moments with his daughter, he says, let me just look at you. That really hit me.
Huh.
Because there was a moment, I might have been super enhanced a couple of weeks ago or months ago, where I was wearing sunglasses that were like blue, like mirror. And my daughter, who's not even 2 years old, was standing on my lap and she could see her reflection. She couldn't see my eyes. She could see herself in the glasses, and she was playing with the glasses and smiling and exploring them. And it was like I got this first person view, like almost like spectator mode to be able to observe her without being an observer. She couldn't see me.
Yeah.
I could, when you're like, oh, that's a cute moment, you get your phone out and the kid stops or whatever. Yeah. I was just like behind a two-way mirror, getting to just, and so close. Her face was 2 inches from me, and I got to just stare into her little beautiful baby angel face.
That's nice.
And then when Bautista said that to her and he's staring at his daughter, I was just imagining that moment, plus imagine she's 25 and he can see his wife in her face and everything. And I was just like, oh,
damn, dude.
That was heavy.
I mean, that's a really touching moment you're describing. And I would just want to take a moment and appreciate that. But that's totally you putting that in the movie.
Why, you don't have kids that you look at?
No, I definitely have kids. It's just that this movie did not do any of the work to bring me to that place where I would be emotionally cognizant enough to feel that.
I didn't really feel.
I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's a beautiful sentiment. For sure. I
didn't really feel their closeness or even their like animosity. Really, like it didn't really land in a realistic.
They did.
Like,
they did not feel like family.
Yeah,
they felt like they were actors.
Well, you were wondering if they were even related.
Exactly.
Maybe they needed like a flashback scene when she was like 5 or something. They're holding hands.
He was like angry enough at him to be his daughter, I guess.
I thought it was sweet that she ended up.
I'm actually gonna kill myself.
It was a good story arc that she ended up having to kill him.
Yeah,
sort of.
I think that works. Because he had reconcile.
Well, it works and it doesn't work. Because on the one hand, she already admitted earlier in the movie that she didn't resent him for killing mom.
Yeah.
But if she had, then she would grow when she has to kill dad, and she'd be like, now I get it.
That would be better.
Sometimes you have to sacrifice something you love.
That would be better. As it is, it kind of just feels like Zack Snyder has seen a bunch of other movies where children have had to kill their own parents, and he put that in here.
I think that happens in Dawn of the Dead. It certainly happens where the person's bit and turns and you have to kill them. Like that's a zombie trope.
It's a trope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It didn't really bother me. I think that whole end sequence is really dumb. Like when the Zeus throws the spear at the lady and pins her, I was like, okay, this is stupid. When he jumps into the helicopter and they fight, I'm like, this is...
Oh my God. Why did Scott wait so long to get into the helicopter?
Yeah.
Tig Notaro comes back with a helicopter and they're like, oh, great. There's a nuke coming. Yeah. Let's go. Move your ass. And the two girls get in the helicopter and Scott is just standing there on the building still like,
Smoking a cigarette. Just like,
he's there for like 10 seconds, not just standing there, not getting in the helicopter. And then Zeus is there.
Yeah.
I was like, whoops, I should have gotten in.
even before that, like, okay, how did Kate get to that building fast enough? How did Zeus go across Vegas to get there? Like, how is everything so lucky that they just land on the right building? It's all so unbelievable and stupid. And that's fine. It's a stupid zombie movie, but it
I forgave
definitely
that.
it took me out of it a little bit.
They could have done more with the head.
Yes.
I was disappointed when she just dropped it off the building. I like the way it splattered. It looked awesome. But I thought that you could have done more with the hostage
it's
situation.
fun when she's
head.
holding it and she's like still alive and kind of like biting. I'm like, you're right. They should have done something with that.
There's some cool zombie genre imagery in this movie.
Like the emergency zombie C-section. See, that's the thing that I'm on the line about. You could convince me either way. Where I think it's like, it's kind of genius, but it's also just underdeveloped and doesn't do enough. Like they have to take it further and do something crazy with it. Where like at later point, like the little zombie fetus comes and bites someone's feet or something.
Yeah. Like
but the point was that it died.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, but he would be just as mad if like we don't need there to be a zombie fetus. Like he could just see her and get mad at that.
I was done at that point. I thought that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And when he ripped it out, I guess just to check or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Because earlier we already learned that she's pregnant way earlier because he puts his head to her.
Well, apparently
tummy
it's like that's not the reveal. It's the foreshadowing. But I'm like, no, that's clearly
You hear a
she's
heartbeat.
fucking pregnant. Yeah.
You hear
what
the
fuck?
heartbeat. Like it's like I was like, whoa, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And then later it's like they're revealing it again, and I'm like, we already know this.
So are zombies? I guess zombies are fucking behind the scenes.
Oh, these ones are.
These ones are
these
only
alphas
the
got fucked.
alpha. Yeah.
This zombie fucks.
I'm alpha as fuck.
It's like a gorilla troop.
His helmet sucked. His helmet should have been a Vegas type helmet.
Oh, that'd be so much better.
Yeah, what is that? What was that? Did he make that?
Yeah, he made it. And it's because their brains are weak and he's smart enough to know that.
That was kind of a cool thing.
But
cool.
It shouldn't be just him. That should be the army helmet. And then he should have like a sweet Vegas like showpiece helmet. I totally agree.
It should have been some kind of Vegas iconography.
Well, I mean, like the Vegas Golden Knights have like similar helmets. Like that's their hockey team.
Oh.
They could have fucking taken one of their helmets.
How did he make
Yeah,
really
they have
dense.
metallurgy.
Yeah.
the zombies too?
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I think there's potential like in Smart Zombies, and obviously this movie doesn't fulfill it, but do you guys want to see more Snyder zombie shit, or do you want this to die on a,
Like I
on
said,
a fire?
I'm never going to watch another Snyder movie if I can
will.
help it.
No,
Okay,
you'll watch one here.
wait. So
I just hope that we don't do him on the podcast.
We will.
So Riley,
100%.
if Snyder's going to continue to make films, what films do you want him to make?
None anymore. So
That's not the premise I just gave you.
This goes back to what we were talking about when we did the Justice League, where I'm like, okay, Zack Snyder, maybe the reason why I haven't liked any of his DC movies is because they're DC, and I'm a DC Comics fan originally, and so I want to see these characters done right, not like edgelord. Batman kills people. Actually, Superman's not actually a good person and a moral role model. Like, I want to see these characters done well. And so maybe that's the reason I don't like him. So when Army of the Dead's announced and I see the trailer and I'm like, okay, great. This is a franchise I don't give a shit about. Zombie movies are fun. Zack Snyder's good at slow motion action stuff. This might be a really good movie. I was excited. I was stoked going into this
Not
movie.
enough slow motion, hey?
Not enough anything that was
Cool.
actually fun. Like we say, there were some moments, especially like in the end in the casino when they're escaping and like they're doing this kind of like gun kata, like tripping
Yeah,
people
it
and
was fun.
shooting them in the head stuff. Like that's cool.
When the YouTube guy pulls all the pins on the grenades, I was like, that's pretty cool.
That was all right. Yeah,
That was pretty. I was into it.
Didn't tickle me, but yeah, there are some parts that were fun for sure. But like overall, we need way more of those. We need the whole movie to be those. Why did I have more fun in the Transformers movies than I did in this one?
Did you?
Well, because you were 13, 17.
But still, if I watch a Transformers movie now, I'm like, I need set pieces. I need cool visual moments where I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. And there were just like so little of that here. I've seen zombies get shot in the head so many times, it's just nothing anymore. It's like I'm completely desensitized.
Yeah, they just this movie doesn't take it there.
Yeah.
And like I don't know
Shocked
where
me.
there is, but like I need crazy. So one of the things that's cut in the movie, there was supposed to be a male stripper zombie with a huge dong with a bite taken out of it. I'm like, that's the shit you need in this movie.
Sure.
You need the crazy Vegas stuff.
Yeah, do
like you
something.
need zombies with coke. Like you need like fucking weird shit.
Like, so they did have some things that we haven't really seen before, like a zombie tiger or whatever. Like that
But
was really
wasn't-
cool.
It was okay.
And the effects were really good.
Really, I thought they were terrible.
Oh, what?
Maybe it's just my display. I
For
watched
the
it on two
tiger
different TVs.
specifically?
Yeah, I thought the tiger looked really
Oh,
good.
I didn't find that.
I think it looked CG. Like it didn't.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but they.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
The more egregious was the cargo thing at the cargo container at the beginning of the movie when it was
CG
skidding down the road. I was like, that's
that was
CG
super
as fuck.
fake.
Yeah.
What? Okay, and I feel bad for this, but like the horse looked. That's one of the worst effects things I've ever seen.
Well, it was too much skeleton.
It's literally just a suit. But then I watched the behind the scenes thing, and the guy that makes the dead horse suit seemed like super, super nice and seemed to like really, really love what he was doing.
Wait.
He seemed like passionate, and like they have B-roll of him like brushing, like hand painting it and stuff. And I was like, I feel bad for hating the horse suit now.
Wait.
But it didn't look great.
That horse was supposed to just be an undead horse?
Yeah.
I thought it was a horse wearing clothes. Oh my God. I actually just thought it was, I'm like, is there a horse under all that armor?
Like,
yeah.
oh my God,
Whoa.
that's
So
so
it was
funny.
not supposed to be.
Oh.
I think it was supposed to be like a show horse from one of the shows. So it had like tatters of like fabric on it and stuff. But I was I thought the same thing. I'm like, that is a horse wearing stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be the actual dead horse with like its skin rotting away.
As we're talking about this, where are the Cirque du Soleil zombies?
I was just thinking
Yeah,
that.
what the
But
fuck?
what would they look like?
I don't
think
know. It
his-
doesn't fit in this movie.
His
but,
wife
like,
might have been one.
Yeah. And just like they fucking like.
Yeah, like trapezing
Yeah,
over
it's
stuff.
So awesome.
There's
Yeah.
there's some
You
things.
You know what they needed was like, okay, Zach, you can come, but can you please work with the people who made Fury Road?
Yes, that'd be so sick.
Bing, that would have been the sweet spot.
They just need someone who's not taking it as seriously, that's willing to do the silly.
Well, he
crazy
said,
stuff.
have fun, but not make fun. So have fun in the genre, but don't like make it a joke of the genre.
Yeah, like I don't want a zombie magician. Or do a
Pulling a head out of a top
Yeah,
hat? I kind of do now.
Have fun, but don't make fun. Yeah, I heard him say that too.
I like that, but it seems like he could
But
have had a little more
I feel
fun.
like for the zombies genre, it's kind of one and the same. Like if you're having fun with zombies, you're doing all of these silly things.
Well, unless they
They don't-
break the zombie rules.
Yeah.
Unless they break the rules.
like we don't want to have characters being like, wait a second, the zombies do this, but that doesn't make sense with the fact that they also do this. Yeah, I can see that, I guess. That's making fun. We just want to blow stuff up.
Man, Kate got so good at headshots.
I had that
no
same
military
thing.
Must run in the family, hey?
Yeah, like what does she have? I mean, I guess maybe her dad gave her shooting lessons.
They didn't
or
even set
something.
that up. Like Dieter takes out some beer bottles pretty well.
Yeah.
But they don't show Kate at that part, like kicking
Yeah,
ass. Like
she
she's a good
literally
shot.
headshots all of them with a pistol.
It was too much.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah,
too
wait,
He's a hell of a
did
shot.
the person she went to save, did they survive?
no,
No, they get in the helicopter.
Gita dies.
We assume that she dies in the helicopter.
Yeah, what the
I
fuck?
kind of like that, the futility of it all. I actually felt some strong themes at the end.
Oh yeah, definitely
Like-
strong themes in this movie.
She
Sorry.
kills her dad. Everybody's dead. Vegas is nuked. It's so nihilistic, and then it's playing that song at first when
Zombie.
Yeah.
That's
When that-
the worst musical cue in this movie. Because that's about like, what is it about? It's like kids being murdered.
it's about the IRA. Like,
yeah, it's like,
So I actually like that choice because when it started, I noticed it, and I was like, "You're gonna play zombie in a zombie movie." I thought it was so gimmicky and on the nose. But then with just all the other imagery and shit and like hopelessness that was going on, I was like, actually, it kind of resonates on more than just that zombie level. I kind of liked it.
I didn't get there, but
I
maybe.
respect that opinion a bit, but I think that I don't know that there is evidence that Zack Snyder felt the same way, and I feel like he might have just used it because it has zombie in it.
It has the right tone,
Maybe,
I think,
but-
musically. Like, it's like kind of like melancholic, but
The music
yeah, I
really-
think that's what he was feeling. more.
There are a few musical moments in this movie that just kind of they didn't bother me per se, but I was just kind of like, eh.
What do you think
So
about-
the Zombie by the Cranberries is one, and the other one is the Wagner. They used the Cycle of the Ring.
That's when they get
music,
into the vault.
When they get into the
I
vault.
like that one.
I was like, okay, they kind of set this up
Yeah.
by saying that the vault is named after the guy.
It's
I
like
forget-
a piece of art.
There's a reference to Wagner, and so then they play Wagner when they open the thing. But I just feel like it didn't hit me emotionally there because I knew that they were only playing Wagner there because of this whole thing that they had set up, and it didn't really. I don't know. The music at that part that they were showing, it wasn't really an emotional release. I don't know.
Well, I think that the music to me doesn't feel like Vegas music. It feels like Snyder, what he feels like. And I think that's a mistake. I think more of this movie music should have felt.
Donnie and Marie should have been playing. with
Yeah, or like
Joking.
the Rat
Yeah.
Pack or like shit like that, like Vegas songs. And
That's a great
They
point.
had a bit of that.
a little bit, especially the
montage.
The montage when they're pulling out their guns and like unpacking their stuff.
Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, but that's also like boring. Like it just. I feel like Zack Snyder doesn't try very hard when he's looking for music. He Googles. He's like, zombie music, Las Vegas music.
I don't
Viva
know,
Las
man.
Vegas.
I actually think he's pretty good at music. In Watchmen, the opening credits use the times they are changing. It's awesome.
Watchmen is great, but I
Yeah.
think part of that is because he's adapting a graphic novel and he decided
There's no music in the graphic
No,
novel.
There isn't, but it's a theme. It's an era. So he used a bunch of music from that era.
But I also
Okay.
think like I like that musical cue, but it's also like what music accompanies times changing.
Oh man, you can reduce any creative decision to like dup words.
But
if you want.
but like I wouldn't say that about Tarantino. Like he doesn't go and like find music that's like literally exactly what's happening on screen.
like the words.
Yeah, the words are describing what's happening on screen, not like counterpoint, not like taking it elsewhere. And I think Zack Snyder does that all the time.
Oh, the Bad Moon Rising. They had like an acoustic
Oh,
slow
yeah.
sad cover of Bad Moon Rising by Creedence.
Yeah.
And
I did not like that one.
I was just like, this is completely unnecessary. Can we just fast forward? Because like it's slow motion shots of everyone just kind of like going and getting their gear and okay, we're going on the thing. I was like, this is a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, let's
cut
go.
it. Cut
Let's
this.
go. Well, he does the trademark Zack Snyder thing where it's like a 2-song title sequence. So like you're allowed one song, Zack Snyder. One song.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave Bautista versus a mattress. Did you guys see that part?
Yeah, what was that?
He's trying to get up. I think it's right before he intervenes and saves somebody, and he's in a stairwell.
He was
and
trying to save Kate, and
there's a mattress
Yeah.
blocking the door, and it's like cuts back to him like 3 times, struggling to move this mattress. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this guy could one hand that mattress.
yeah,
Well,
with
especially-
adrenaline too.
Especially because later he kicks a whole fucking casino table.
Yeah.
like takes out a bunch of
the
zombies.
whole movie, they're sprinting around with gas cannons on.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why do they even have the gas?
For the helicopter.
Helicopter.
'Cause they didn't
And
know.
the
Oh,
generator.
right.
It's funny.
right.
I in my head I was like, they're not bringing enough gas for it, but I did the calculation. They brought enough gas.
You did the
Yeah,
calculation?
found out how much gas a helicopter needs. Based on how many there was, they could probably get about 80 kilometers away, and the nuclear bomb's probably about 8-kilometer radius, so they're
That's
fine.
amazing.
They're fine.
Thank you.
I love
Thank you for doing that, David.
You're great. That was amazing.
What's with all the Greek stuff in this?
Huh?
Like the stronghold
Olympus.
is Olympus, and then her head getting cut off was strong Medusa vibes.
Yeah, one Zeus.
When do we learn his name is Zeus? How do we know that?
I don't think we actually do. I think I just,
It's just-
It's in the
took
credits?
that from the
okay.
synopsis.
Oh, okay.
Well, that means it's there. I don't
Yeah.
know what that is. Maybe
His
they're
name
trying.
is Zeus, but I don't know.
Maybe
if
it's
they
like
say
these
it.
are like the god of zombies. Like these will be the mythological figures of the future Snyder-verse.
Oh, Zack Snyder loves mythology.
He sure
I don't
does.
know what they're doing there. Something's going on there. I haven't thought about it enough.
Who knows what's going on in
A
that?
zombie in a goddamn cape.
Yeah,
I'm so happy
Yeah.
someone said that out loud. I was
Yeah.
like, what's going
It
on?
looks like a hot rod. That's what his costume reminded me of. It's like fucking hot rod.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's what's missing too. Is a fucking like not Ronnie Dangerfield. What's the stunt guy? It needs like a stunt guy.
Oh yeah.
A Vegas guy in like the America outfit.
Evil Knievel.
Evil Knievel, like
there he
riding a motorcycle, like coming after them. That would be sick.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Oh man.
yeah, when they're running on the way out, when they have
Yeah.
no time and it's raining, that's when somebody should with a flaming velvet.
Yeah, that'd be so
Elvis
Yeah,
suit.
it's, man, it's so disappointing.
much.
Vegas is really just like the background for like a completely generic
Yeah.
zombie movie.
This
And
could have been like Atlantic City. Like
Yeah.
it could have been anywhere.
And there are all these cool ideas like the pregnant zombie and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but like tie that into the plot.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, you know, it was a good move. Just to totally derail you, a good moment that had me laughing was when they're like, it's a free country, and they're like, actually, we're not in America. It's like, yeah, well, it's even, technically even freer.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was a good moment. I like that too.
That was I guess that was another moment where I'm like a high school student could have written this.
Why
I
did
don't know.
they add so much
Shut
CG
up.
smoke?
What? It's obvious. Anyways,
You're like,
What?
okay, it's like the creators do a thing, and it doesn't resonate for you, but then it resonates for me, and you attribute that to me adding something to the movie rather
no.
than it's just like maybe they actually did intend that, and I'm the audience that received their intention, and you missed it, and it's not because like I don't know, like lightning struck
No,
twice
okay,
or something.
wait.
It's like they actually they were creative, and it resonated with me, and it worked for me.
yeah. I'm not saying that they weren't creative and that could be a funny line if the rest of the movie wasn't as bad. That's really what it comes down
No, this
to.
is like the third thing. We're like, they didn't write that. It's like, yeah, they are professionals. Like, it's not hard to get in. It's hard to get in this industry.
What do you mean they didn't write that?
There's like earlier examples we were talking about where it's like,
Well, the daughter thing, I'm like, that isn't supposed to be an emotional moment, but I think for most people, it's not going to hit them because the groundwork wasn't laid earlier. Like, we don't actually care about these characters. But for you, that reminded you of a very specific instance in your memory, and so that hit you. And I'm like, that's totally valid. Art is supposed to make different people feel different things.
Okay, I can grant that. So you're saying that when they wrote that scene, it was an evocative scene and it was well acted and everything. It's just that they didn't earn the scene earlier in the movie.
I don't know if it was well acted, but
I think it was fine.
But yeah, that's what it's intended to be, is this emotional moment, and it clearly had that effect on you.
But that's the Zack Snyder way. It's not about, he doesn't do the work to get there. He just gets there.
I want to know if he outlines.
I totally believe, I can totally see him just being a discovery writer. He just starts writing and kind of goes places.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
For the free country thing, though, I'm saying that that's a line that I might go along with, and it might make me kind of like, if the rest of the movie was up to a higher standard. But I think that, like, I have a certain amount of, as I said, I was going into this movie, so I had a lot of, like, upfront leeway that I was going to give it, right? And I think that at every opportunity to have something that maintained that reservoir of goodwill that I had, it actually just drained it, because the things that were just, it just stumbled and stumbled and stumbled. And so by, the midpoint of the movie, or the first third or whatever, I'm like, my reservoir of goodwill is gone. So that at that point, I just want it to be over. And so these little things that happen, I can be like, yeah, okay. But at the same time, I'm like, you didn't do the groundwork to get me into you didn't sell me on this. So now I'm like, I don't care about it.
It's hard though, because like the zombie genre is so particular, where people that like zombie movies don't, like, they want the same thing over and over. They want the same emotional beats. They want kind of the same
That's
ideas.
why in my slogan I said that like a zombie movie needs to have a slight twist on zombies. You change them too much, it's like, this isn't zombies.
It's vampires.
But
or
if you don't add anything, then it's like, oh, we've seen this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this movie, I totally think it's fair to have such split decisions on it, because like I can see why people like it. I wanted more out of it. Like the promotional material made it seem like it was going to be crazy. Like how you fix that, like America's the freest country ever, is you have that crazy American character who will set off the fireworks later.
Yeah, they should have made that
and he's
YouTube
like,
character.
yeah, America is the freest country.
Yeah,
in the world.
there's like there's ways you can put themes in here, and there's like allusions to things that they could have done but they didn't do, and it's frustrating.
But I think if you go into the movie with like the expectation that none of that's there, like you're there for the Zack Snyder moments. Like the Zack Snyder moments are pretty cool. I agree with you. I don't think they're earned. I don't think that it makes up for it. But I think though, if you're there for those moments, like you get them.
How about that guy parachuting down?
That was dumb
with a pistol.
Fuck. What's the best case scenario of that?
No, but he was fucked.
No, but like, what was supposed to happen? Was he supposed to like land on a tiny target building?
Probably
like,
supposed to land somewhere else.
He ejected from his. He ejected from his plane. Yeah, he wasn't.
Why was there zombies in the sky?
He wasn't like a paratrooper.
Why was he ejecting from his plane?
I don't know. Maybe
zombies like threw spears at him.
Yeah, they're good at that. But we don't know that. But
you're asking too many questions for a Zack Snyder movie.
This is how Zack Snyder works. Like you don't need to know that. What you need to know is, oh my God, imagine you're going down and you're using your pistol and it's hopeless. And then then the visual aspect when the parachute covers all the action and the blood comes up and it's just like,
that's kind of a good visual.
That's a Zack Snyder. That's a perfect Zack Snyder.
Riley, meet me in the middle here, Riley. I want you to upgrade your rating to a 4.
To be fair, right after I watched the movie, I was like, oh, maybe this is a 4. But the more that I thought about it and like looked through my notes, I was like, I did not enjoy this movie at like very, very little. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is the fact that I came in wanting these Zack Snyder moments that we're talking about.
Sure.
I want those cool
But when you say
moments.
like a 2.5, I'm picturing something like
Doolittle.
Like The Room.
Yeah.
Like
no, dude, The Room.
Like bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought this was potentially that bad.
I disagree.
What?
I
like,
think
come on, even having that one shot, like The Room or something that bad, or Doolittle doesn't even have one moment that's as cool as that parachute thing we just talked about, which was like 5 seconds in this
I feel like Doolittle had some like interesting CGI moments where they're on the ship and there's like animals running all over the place.
I don't think you did. Watch it. Watch our episode.
I think I gave Doolittle a 2. So this might be a 2. Okay, look, I'll upgrade to a 3.5.
3.75.
No.
Come on.
No, a full point. Okay, you came down a point, I'll go up a point. 3.5.
I think that this movie has too few Zack Snyder moments, and everything in between, to me, wasn't like horrible. It was just like the definition of like meh. Like it's almost hard to watch because it's not bad, it's not good. It's just so like
exactly.
Yo, you know what would you have done? Seriously, ask yourself, what would you have done if you're sitting on your couch watching this and everything was going wrong for the characters and suddenly, who comes in to save them? But actually, Ben Affleck Batman.
I would be so happy. That'd be
What would you have
sick.
done? Would you have stood up?
Yeah, I would have like, what?
It would probably get at least another like 1.5 points.
Or
for me
someone
just for that.
explodes, and then it's
Yeah.
just like Superman standing there with his glowing red eyes, like, come with me.
Not Superman. It has to be like one that would actually be in danger of the zombies.
Like Batman, the
Batman
way
would
he's
be
dressed
Batman
up
would be
in
good.
Justice League with his like desert suit.
Yeah.
Post-apocalyptic
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
That'd be sick. I'd be so into that.
Honestly, yeah.
And then there's the Joker, the Jared Leto zombie Joker. You'd be like, what just happened?
And
Where's
all
this
he can
movie
do
going?
is laugh. That's all he can do is crazy zombie laugh.
Oh, that would be cool. Like
Yeah.
like mixed roar and
Yeah.
laughing. Or
Well, I mean, we're
something.
getting Marvel zombies soon.
Fuck, can you imagine if this movie released and no one knew that wasn't in the trailer, no one knew that was going to happen?
That's the worst thing about living in the time we live in, that no secrets can survive. Because like Spider-Man 3 or whatever the new one's going to be called. What was it? The Far From Home? No. Whatever. We all know that it's going to be like all the Spider-Man are
Home
in
for
it.
Christmas.
Home for Christmas.
Homeward Bound.
He's got to shoot the dog. Yeah, we all know that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it. And like if
Andrew Garfield apparently isn't.
Whatever. The
Anyways,
point is, like,
yeah.
if it's going to sell any more tickets,
they have to tell
they're
you.
going to show you. But that kind of moment, like Terminator 2, the way they did that could never happen. For people who don't know, in Terminator 1, Schwarzenegger was the bad guy. In Terminator 2, he's a good guy. Nobody knew that going in. And the trailers made it look like Schwarzenegger's back as the Terminator, is here to kill John Connor.
Yeah.
And then the moment where you see him in the movie walking towards John Connor, holding that box of roses that becomes a shotgun, you think he's going to slay him, but he's like, get down.
Yeah.
That would have been mind-blowing, and it just cannot happen today.
No. Yeah, I can't
That's a
think of the
great
last
twist.
big
Yeah.
twist. What's like the last big twist in cinema? I guess like Infinity War when the good guys lose?
That's nothing compared to that.
No,
No.
that's a pretty
I
big
feel like
deal.
that's less of a twist.
And we
more
all
just
knew that
kinda
it was going to
like
be
a-
undone shortly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
We
don't
don't
know.
get good twists because everything is.
Yeah,
told-
no,
like, we
it's-
know the casting months, like years before.
I get twists because I watch the trailer and tell the zombie tiger is there, and then I turn it off.
That's fair.
I don't need to see any more than that.
That's the way to do it. The worst twist ruined for me was fucking Terminator Genesis or whatever. When John Connor is Terminator. Such a.
Oh, yeah,
It's that
yeah.
trailer. It's fucking worse.
Oh, that was in the trailer?
That was in the trailer.
That's-
Yeah.
Can they?
Stupid.
Yeah, really need to stop making trailers that give away the entire plot of the movie.
Guys,
Although I
don't
will
watch
say,
more than 90 seconds of a
You're
trailer.
But here's
100%
the deal:
right.
most of the time, when a movie has a trailer and the trailer gives away everything in the movie, it's probably a bad movie. So, like a good movie knows not to have a
But
trailer.
it's
give
not
everything
usually
away.
the director that gets to make the trailer. It's the studio that's just like, we
Yeah,
need to
but
get
still,
people in the seats.
When the movie's that good, I feel like everyone has that respect for it, that they don't give absolutely everything away.
That's fair. And there's a way to show lots of images of a movie without ruining it, like something like Blade Runner 2049. The trailers show a lot of the movie, but they're not giving context to
Yeah.
anything. And so it's just like.
The trailer kind of changed this movie because the parts of the trailer that I saw, it made it look like things that happened in this movie that actually turned out to be 1 minute was like the whole trailer. It seemed like
Right.
I was like, oh, this movie is going to be the first hour is going to be these mercenaries being like, we can fight again.
Yeah.
We can like pick up the rifle from its off the mantle, and then like, and it seemed like, okay, first they're going to get the groove back, then they're going to have a heist, then there's going to be zombies after 3 hours.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
instead they were just like, I'm in like
Yeah.
in 10 minutes, and I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
And there were all these like slow motion shots in the trailer that end up being in this sort of like conceptual moment where they're like imagining what it's going to be like to go in there, and like
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Dieter
yeah.
has that
Spike bat.
and that's not even a real thing in the
know.
movie.
Like
that.
in the trailer, it made it seem way more about like veterans. It seemed like all those people we saved, we get a chance to do
Right.
something right in this world again, or something for ourselves this time.
These trailer artists
That
know
was
how to
nothing.
They know how to take some raw material and just turn it into something.
Was that-
Kind of made it look more boring though.
I think
well-
I turned the trailer off, not because I didn't want to see it, because I was bored.
No, I watched the trailer thinking, I'm like, oh, cool, this might
Really?
be a movie that Zack Snyder's actually good at.
Okay.
I was, like I said, I was stoked
Yeah,
because
right.
I was like, I want to see Zack Snyder do something good.
Oh, here's a nitpick. The kid is coming. Who's this kid? They're talking about Dieter. Like the guy's like 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's not much younger than Vandero. Man, I laughed out loud at the after they take the security guard away. They're looking at the Queen zombie through binoculars, and she's looking directly at them from far away. And she growls, and then she hops down off of a container and runs
Oh, I
away
noticed
with
that.
her
Yeah.
hands behind her. And it looks so awkward. It's such a long shot. She's not running like a zombie. She's running like a human with their hands behind her,
Oh, yeah.
like a
Naruto
Naruto,
run.
like a bad Naruto run. I just laughed out loud.
Throughout the whole her whole performance, I was like, oh, they have to do this zombie movement where they're all like interpretive
Yeah.
dancing. And
I
I was
thought
like,
they did a pretty
I guess
good
they
job.
kind of have to, because if you don't, then you're not zombies.
Yeah.
But they're
just
not
looks
zombies.
weird.
They're contagious orcs.
Yeah.
Superpowered orcs.
Urukai.
Yeah, Urukai.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think this is a dumb movie. So like nuking your own country is not like the worst, most egregious thing, but that's just dumb. You don't nuke your own country. You use more targeted things that aren't going to leave like radiation for decades.
It's a
Yeah,
tactical,
sure.
David, it's a tactical low yield nuke.
Yeah.
And it's in the desert.
I'm into it. And that's they actually do say that like they've been testing nukes out here for ages. So
Yeah.
And like Las Vegas, is it really a loss?
One thing that really
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Peter said. Yeah, they should have done that a long time ago.
One thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, just as like because I like zombie movies. They go into the first building they go into, and there's like one or two zombies, and they just start shooting them right away. And I'm like, yo, what about stealth? I guess at that point maybe they're like, oh, we have safe passage from the alphas or whatever, but like still there's these hordes, these zombies are still attacking them. Like you're gonna draw them all out.
I thought about that.
Maybe you guys
Use
explain it
melee
to me.
weapons. It's basic.
Because at one point they're like, okay, we gotta stick inside, and they go through that building, and there's like they have to go through the hibernating cluster of zombies. Why couldn't they go back outside? Like, why couldn't they go to another building? Why did they choose that path? Like, it felt kind of like video gamey, where it's like artificially contained to one path. And I'm like, you're in like a whole city. Like, can't you not go through this very dangerous thing right here, right now?
Honestly, I feel like the best zombie media treats the audience as if they know about zombies and know strategies.
100%.
Like it's like we've had so much zombie stuff, movies and TV shows and video games, that a lot of the audience is thinking about what weapon would I grab, and that was
Not
like
a Saw.
that was like
Jaws of Life was so
I feel
stupid.
terrible.
Get a katana, man. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, Michonne
Like
in Walking Dead, that's why that was so cool, because she has a katana and she's like one of the best ones. It's like everyone knows that a katana would be the best weapon in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. You can
Jaws of Life, like a 60-pound saw? No.
Well,
So
you can tell
loud.
this movie was conceptualized like early 2000s, because like it would have fit better in that era.
Right. Since then, we've had
We're like postmodern zombie now.
for sure. I feel like, it was like a common discussion question, just like casual conversation, 8 years ago or something, to just ask people like, zombie apocalypse, what's your weapon? I feel like I had
assault
so
rifle.
many conversations like that.
I'll
with
talk about it
people.
right now. I love talking about that.
Baseball bat?
Yeah, steel baseball bat,
Maybe
reinforce it.
Maybe a steel one.
Yeah, because if you have a bladed weapon, it can get caught in something.
Oh,
You don't want that. You
want
need to be
something
able
bounce
to
off.
push them back and then have a gun that you can fire quickly and change the
Yeah, but
round.
I guess with
Because
the
everyone's like,
baseball-
shotgun, no. You don't want a shotgun.
the thing is that especially with a horde of zombies, you need to take stamina and fatigue into account. So like a baseball bat, you're requiring a lot of force with each
No, but
hit.
it's
With a
not.
katana, you can
It's not for the
slice-
horde. The horde, you have your gun, but it's for the like pushing people back like one at a time.
Doorway, like a...
Yeah.
bottlenecks?
You need a pushback weapon, and then you have your
I guess.
your pistol and your assault rifle.
Lightsaber, obviously.
katana,
Obviously.
Yeah,
katana
good,
plus
fair enough.
plus super tough leather glove, because then you can
Oh, a
use
falcon glove and a falcon.
It. Yeah, and a
Ooh, zombie falcon
Actually,
though.
dude, a falcon would be great. They
Yeah.
can just like pick out the eyes and brains
Yep.
as they swoop, and then land on your
Unless-
glove.
Yeah,
leather
they get
gauntlet.
infected.
Yeah,
and then you
reinforce
gotta-
their talons.
then you got a zombie falcon on your hands.
Yeah, but it lands not on your hands, on your glove.
Yeah, but
It's
But
under
once
your.
he's
got a
zombie.
beak.
Okay, the thing is, the falcon always wants to kill everything, and it's just like you're lucky it's not killing you. So I feel like once it becomes a zombie,
It's
the
still-
same rules apply. So it's just more dangerous then.
What do you guys think about when
Guess
they
so.
cut off the zombie hand, microwave it, and throw it, and like the zombie is attracted to hot zombie flesh? They're in the Vegas desert. They're all hot zombie flesh. Why aren't they eating each other?
Well, it's hotter. It's all relative.
No, that's a fair criticism, I feel like. Although I will say that scene where they send the zombies forward, that's like the one part of the movie
kinda funny.
where it's kind of like a fun zombie movie trope sort of situation where it's like, okay, we have a problem, we're gonna solve it using zombies.
Yeah.
And then the
Indiana Jones
throwing the hand for bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Indiana
That
Jones.
part, I was just like, why don't they just throw corpses? There's so many
Yeah,
corpses beside
exactly.
them.
Yeah,
Kind of
I
annoying.
thought that's
Also-
what they were gonna do. I thought they were just gonna like take zombie body parts and
Yeah.
throw them over so it triggers
And
the
like
thing.
That wouldn't
I-
be as good, though.
I found like those traps weren't fun. Like they were so basic. I'm like, give me
Yeah.
weird.
No, the
Tranquilizer.
two walls that squished, and then when they pulled apart, did you hear there's There's that
Yeah.
little piece of like sinew that's
Yeah.
still
I
connecting
like-
them, and
yeah.
then when it snapped, did you hear the sound? It was like, it was so good.
Yeah. No, that was to me, that was one of the funnest parts of the movie, for sure.
That's because the man, Dieter and Van. Great
Yeah, they were a
dynamic.
great combo.
Yeah, they did a good
I want
one.
to
YouTube guy was there too.
And
but he-
Guzman was also there for some reason.
I didn't hate him. He's not developed at all.
yeah,
but
he didn't do anything.
No.
He didn't even get enough double headshots.
Also, that was a weird choice to hire him because of a YouTube video. Like, I can see why they thought that was a good character thing. Like, he's like the influencer zombie killer. But
Yeah, I don't
watching
know.
a guy pistol some zombies on YouTube doesn't seem like a great.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know. It just
I don't know. This guy's a good shot, and
Yeah.
he'll do it for 20 grand. All right.
is he a good shot? I mean,
That was the whole YouTube video. He's doing
But I mean,
all these
like,
triple
okay,
headshots.
I
You're
guess so, but they're like, I don't know, they're just standing still basically.
They were walking.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that.
don't know that.
well, maybe after 16
I've
tries.
shot
How,
guns.
do you know if that's his first?
Yeah,
try?
it's like Dude Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, they're still talented though.
Flips a gun, lands on its thing, shoots,
Yeah.
kills a zombie.
Whatever, that didn't bother me that much because I was like, all right, we're in a fun zombie movie,
Yeah.
whatever, why not?
Yeah, if that's more the tone I wanted.
Yeah.
I think what it really comes down to is a tone thing, and I think you and I wanted a totally different tone out of this movie. And I think for you it vibed better.
Well, I just had no expectations.
That's fair.
I was like, I'm probably gonna hate this. And it was
I
like,
was
yeah,
like,
this is
okay.
great. I
okay.
stayed awake. I watched it late and stayed awake. That says a lot because if a movie is like boring or confusing at all,
Yeah.
if it's like midnight, I'm just like, I'm done.
If it was a
That's fair.
fun movie, if it was more fun, I would have appreciated it. But instead, we got like Zack Snyder thinking that he's making some sort of compelling story about a father and daughter, when it's really just like it seems really shoehorned in.
I didn't really see it that way.
It's not the core thing that's going on.
I saw that as like, oh yeah, they have to have like this movie formula. Like there's got to be a couple of grace moments or whatever. It's really about the zombies.
Yeah, exactly. It's really about the zombies, but it's like Zack Snyder's trying to convince us that Scott and his daughter is like a compelling relationship that we should care about.
No, it's not.
That's the whole, yeah.
Why wasn't there a shootout with a Celine Dion hologram singing?
That's in Blade Runner already.
No, it wasn't Celine Dion. It was
Hologram.
Elvis.
I'm pretty sure they use Blade Runner has that same Elvis song playing.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Right.
This movie just it's all right.
I don't want to talk about
Let's
this
get out of
anymore.
here.
Get out of here.
Tune in next week when we're covering A Quiet Place 2
Hopefully
with
better.
Sarah.
Hopefully much better.
How
Hopefully better.
quiet of a place is it? Too quiet.
You got there.
I honestly didn't even plan that.
It's actually a second location. It's A Quiet Place TOO.
The Quiet Place 2.
And then the third one, the Quiet Place Library Edition.
Quiet Place one more time.
All right. Anyway, tweet at us at Carpal Critics. Email us hello@carpalcritics.ca.
Hello. Bye-bye.
See you later.